To me, it's hard to believe that this court might overrule Roe. But having listened yesterday, I think they might be getting ready to. I mean, the headline from scotusblog.com, which I like and trust and have read for a long, long time. There's a woman there named Amy Howe. She's been writing for them for forever. And she's a straight shooter. You know, she'll tell you what she thinks. I don't know what her political persuasion is, but she's a straight shooter. She's predicting they're going to uphold the 15-week ban. And I don't know that she foresees an overruling of Roe. I think I'm in a more aggressive camp than she is. I feel like what we heard yesterday, because no one seemed to be jumping on board the John Roberts. How about if we just go for the 15 weeks thing? John Roberts is always worried about the future of the court. You know, don't be seen as a political body. Oh, too late. And I didn't see. Let me play what he said, and then I'll just talk about, because I just didn't see other justices like circling around him, like kind of jumping behind that logic. This is soundbite 10, John Roberts, Chief Justice.
If it really is an issue about choice, why is 15 weeks not enough time?
For a few reasons, Your Honor. First, the state has conceded that some women will not be able to obtain an abortion before 15 weeks, and this law will bar them from doing so. And a reasonable possibility standard would be completely unworkable for the courts. It would be both less principled and less workable than viability. And some of the reasons for that are, without viability, there will be no stopping point. States will rush to ban abortion at virtually any point in pregnancy.
So he's trying to say, why can't we live with 15 weeks to the people challenging the Mississippi law? And you heard her saying that it's not going to stay at 15. It's going to slide back to 6 weeks and so on, and there's no stopping it. But no other conservative justice piped in, continued the line of argument, tried to run cover for him on it, tried to work on persuading other justices to come around to the 15-week point. To me, it sounded much more like the Amy Coney Barrett, what about the safe havens? And things have changed now since 1973 and 1992, and the world looks very different now. So what do you think? Do you think, I know what you hope, but like, what are your circles saying about predictions?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I mean, how can the court uphold the 15-week ban, so the pre-viability ban, which basically undoes the viability standard of KCV Planned Parenthood, without effectively overruling Roe v. Wade? I mean, it's a really hard legal maneuver. I don't know what it would even look like to do that. And there were some questions from some of the justices about, and certainly in the briefs in advance, in the prepared arguments in advance, you know, what is the legal standard we can use instead of viability?
Right.
You know, if we're going to draw a line in the sand, and if there's going to be an arbitrary line, it's not viability. What is the arbitrary line?
And just quickly, there you heard the lawyer for the one Mississippi abortion clinic who's arguing against this ban, saying, no, we don't want that. Like, even she's not saying settle on the 15 weeks. You know, he's like the only one who's like, well, I just leave it there. Even Mississippi, in crafting the law, didn't really want 15 weeks. They'd love to see Roe v. Wade. The whole thing was crafted to get Roe overturned. So you've got Chief John Roberts, Chief Justice, saying, how about that? Let's just settle where they left it. And to me, it seemed like the rest of the participants were like, that's the worst option.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think I hope it's very clear to Justice Roberts that it's an arbitrary line at viability, and that, you know, it's been badly decided. These cases were badly decided. Even pro-choice legal experts say that about Roe. And I hope that he has enough intellectual honesty and just enough courage to at least co-sign onto something that one of the other justices says in advancing justice here.
Well, they don't need him.
But
they don't need him,
well,
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
they don't need him, but
there's
for
6
his
conservatives.
Own sake, for his own legacy, Megyn, I would hope that he gets off this fake fence he's straddling, because there's not really a real fence to straddle here. That's the problem. You know, that is the whole problem of abortion case law, is because it's illogical, because the arbitrary line does change and can change. They're really inventing this right out of thin air. And that is the whole problem of Roe v. Wade and the later cases.
That is true. But, I mean, listen, no matter what your opinion on whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, Roe versus Wade is an embarrassing decision. There was no basis for it. And it never should have been written. It never should have been decided that way. But now we're stuck with it. And the question is, do we adhere to precedent 50 years old that's been reaffirmed as recently as 92? Or have things changed in the country? Or have we just gotten, Justice Thomas would say, I don't give a damn how long it's been on the books. If it's bad law, you overrule overrule it, i.e. Dred Scott and Plessy versus Ferguson. Others would say, no, you got to respect for precedent, so we sort of know what we're dealing with when it comes to judge-made law. But if the circumstances in the country have changed enough, like viability, the point has changed, or the safe haven laws have changed, where people can, safely, I don't know how else to say it, but get rid of, pass off a baby that's been born to others who want to love it and raise it, maybe that could change the situation.